The jewelry of yesteryear, let's put it that way. Traditional Chinese jewelry is getting popular again. You see, these accessories used to be very popular among our mums and grandmums, but we're finding out 2023 it's coming back.
It is indeed, when a survey conducted by the Singapore Jewelers Association revealed a fascinating trend. Among the younger generation in Singapore, about 60% of millennials here expressed a keen interest in traditional Chinese jewelry. And that's outpacing the interest levels of Gen Xers and even baby boomers.
What is it about the millennials? We're talking a lot about them today, it seems. Well done, millennials. On Singapore Today, we're getting the owners of a young jewelry store to shed some light on this trend. Welcoming aboard Daryl Koh and Chase Wu, both are friends who set up Hoseiki 3 years ago. It's a jewelry store located in the heartlands of Bedok North. Folks, welcome to the show. Hi.
Hello, guys. Yeah, this is Chase here.
Daryl here.
Chase, Daryl, welcome aboard. Okay, so let's talk about, before we talk about this trend, how about Hoseiki? Why did you guys decide, was this from the beginning that you all guys decided to sell traditional Chinese jewelry?
Okay, so right from the very beginning, right, it was quite interesting because Daryl wanted to start a jewelry brand. So he asked me whether I wanted to do a jewelry brand together. But since young, one of the things that I have interest in, right, is actually to read about Chinese history. I'm quite a nerd lah. So we decided to like blend the whole concept of these two things together into a traditional Chinese jewelry brand instead. And incidentally, right, my family business is also in the manufacturing of watches. So I have 10 years of experience in manufacturing as well. So everything just came together and, we just started the brand. It was like, our passion project. We are unsure whether it will work right from the very beginning because we just want to do something that we're very passionate about. Luckily, it did work. So we managed to get some of our money back in that sense.
I'm curious though, and Justine and I are also wondering, Hoseiki sounds very Japanese to me, but you also traditional Chinese. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, so I think I wouldn't say like traditional Chinese only, but I would say like embodying like all Asian cultures. So one thing why we name it as Hoseiki is also because that in Japanese, right, it's actually represents that of the word gem.
Okay. Fabulous.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, Daryl, you and Chase, set up shop there, the jewelry store in Bedok North. But can you just explain some of the traditional Chinese jewelry that you're specializing in? And did you get sort of like help from, family members or, female family members perhaps?
Yeah, so there's a member in our team who is female. Actually, she's my wife lah. Her name is Carissa. So she has a cert in Gemmology. Then she's the one doing all the sourcing for us. So luckily, because she's on board, right, it solved a lot of our impulses into, making the whole entire brand into too male oriented. Yeah, so I guess, because of her involvement, there is actually quite a good mix of male and female models within our collection.
Yeah. I'm a fan of like the big chunky ring on the finger, the gold one, and I'm a fan of the big chunky gold chain around the neck as well. I like it. So I'm glad that we've got a nice mix, huh?
Yeah.
But is it, mainly gemstones? Is there yellow gold? Is there lots of jade? What exactly, and can you just give an idea of what we could see when we walk in the store?
Sure. So right from the very beginning, right, we actually specialize in natural stones. So then we decided to upgrade our collection a little bit, and then after that we went to precious stones like emerald, rubies, and also sapphires. Then recently, right, I think we finally hit the jackpot because this year, Chinese New Year, right, we released the 999 solid gold collection, and I think we have been we missed out on this, but actually Chinese we love yellow gold. So this collection actually sells very well for us.
That's interesting because there are so many jewelry stores and gold stores around Singapore as well. What do you think was the tipping point that made the 999 gold in particular sell out? Do you guys have a very different design? Is it very, very traditional? What is the appeal, you think?
Yeah, Daryl, do you want me to take this
Yeah,
question?
I can
Okay,
take.
sure.
I
Oh, okay,
think
sure.
the way we design it is totally different across from whatever is out there in the market. So for me, right, I've seen a lot of these stores you've mentioned out there, and I myself personally wouldn't wear any of them. So in order for me to embrace this traditional Chinese jewelry, uh, and I would like it to be very modern. So whatever we design, right, it uh we fit it into a smaller form factor, and then have it be a little bit more modern so that it can fit a millennial's wardrobe, and then allow them to stay trendy, stylish, but also represent their own heritage.
Okay, wonderful. Daryl, got to ask you then, just talk to us about why traditional Chinese jewelry is just getting so popular among the younger generation, the Singaporean millennials.
Being a millennial myself, I think with the rise of the Chinese social media platforms like Douyin or like Xiaohongshu, we start to get to know more and more about the Chinese culture and what's out there in the market. And also because Singapore has a lot of different cultures, we embrace like every different type of um, tradition and culture out there. And as we start to grow up, right, I feel like we want to seek to connect back to our roots and then embrace our own cultural identity within this melting pot of cultures. Yeah, and then I think secondly, you guys mentioned right at the very beginning, the fashion trend goes very cyclical in nature. So I think the traditional Chinese jewelry has experienced like a resurgence in recent years, and attracting a lot of attention from the fashion for millennials who are looking to be more unique, something that represents themselves, and something that also complements the modern wardrobe.
I like what you said about, the more exposure and the reconnecting of the roots aspect, and also this idea of, what goes out will come back eventually. And maybe that wave, we're seeing that wave crest now as well. But is this something you think in your industry that we're seeing specifically in this part of the world, or could it be a global trend as well?
From the experience from our own business, right, I think we've seen it trending in like Vietnam, Thailand, where we have presence as well. And from our online sales, we can also see customers coming from the Australia, United States, and UK as well. And those people, sometimes you might think, hey, they must probably be like Chinese expats staying in Western countries, right? But actually, we also get many different locals from US and Australia buying our things. I think it's also because they are always looking for to explore different jewelry that's more unique and has stronger tie with tradition.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually that something a little bit different that they may not find in their own country, and they can bring it back and as gifts or for themselves as well. I just want to ask you, because there's always a very strong focus on sustainability and ethics when it comes to things like gemstones and the industry. Can you just talk a little bit about how and where you source your traditional, gemstones and jewelry?
Yeah, sure. So that's an interesting question because going back to our roots, right, of wanting to promote the Asian culture or the Chinese culture in general. So we try to keep the sourcing to Asia, and as much as even though the sourcing is in Asia, right, the product development is actually done in Singapore as well. So within our small little team, we'll come up with the concepts, and then Carissa will do the sourcing for us. Then some of the assembly are also done within Singapore as well.
It's interesting. So sourcing in the region as well. I mean, there have been some concerns about, the ethics of mining some of this and maybe the fake jade or the work conditions and things like that. Have you guys gone a long way to try and make sure that we're getting from ethical sources?
Yeah, that's actually one of the most important things that we have within our checklist because I guess reputation means everything to us. So me being from Singapore, I guess our entire country is built on reputation, right? So we try and leverage on that, and that's one of the reasons why we managed to expand to overseas as well. So we have a certain checklist in play, not just Carissa alone, but our staff. So they are like a double checking system lah. When the stock comes, then when we purchase one time, we will have the sample checked. But definitely every batch that comes will be checked by our staff as well before we assemble the final product for the customer.
Oh, that's good to hear. Guys, I'm not a millennial. We get quite a lot older than millennials.
Why'd you laugh at me?
No, not
I
laughing.
think I'll Google it. I'll check.
But I do want to just check with you. I mean, if I wanted to go and buy some traditional Chinese jewelry, and some of it's just lovely, how can I sort of make it wearable, trendy? I mean, do I need to sort of dress the part? How, talk about the types of clothes to pair with these accessories.
I think one thing both of us set out to do at the beginning is to make it modern and trendy. So we have a variety of natural stones and we combine them in such a way that it fits multiple different colors and outfits depending on what you're wearing.
Yes.
And I'm always looking at trends of what people are wearing in real life and try to develop new products that can fit the modern world.
Come on, let's have some fun. What are the top sellers? Is it the jade bangle? Is it the big chunky ring on the little pinky finger? What are the big sellers? Tell us.
I think we have our best seller is probably the abacus, the one with the abacus charm.
Oh.
Yeah. And then depending on the design, I think black and silver is one of the most popular one among men, and I think there's the aquamarine and also one called seraphine is super popular among ladies.
Oh,
I'm curious, when people come in, do they know the roots and the origins and the connection, or are they going by pure aesthetics and the look? Do they come in as very knowledgeable customers in your experience?
Not really. I think about 50-50. Some of them buy just purely based on the what they feel matches their wardrobe. Others, they would come in and engage us to understand more about all these different types of natural stones and how it and all the different charms that we have and how it connects back to the traditional Chinese culture.
that's
So from
lovely.
there, they would choose what they want.
And then they can just sit down with you and they say, for example, if they have a special event coming up or a wedding or, something really big and they want something special, can they sit down with you with a piece of paper and can you just sort of design something together with your customers?
Yeah, actually, we have like a drawer full of different types of gemstones. And if they want to customize, they can come in and pick and choose whatever colors or different types of natural stones that they like. And then from there, create the bracelet and then add on different like traditional Chinese elements like the abacus, for example, which is something that I think since like like many years, thousands of years ago, has been used to represent like wealth or used by businessmen to represent wealth.
Interesting. Okay, but come on. Let's talk dollars and cents, shall we? Cost. Is this more expensive than traditional modern jewelry pieces? Is it more affordable? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you hit a really soft spot. Cause there's a Chinese saying that says like 讲钱伤感情. So it is a part that really yes, it does cost a little bit more. Not because that is traditional Chinese jewelry, but because anything that's kind of like out of the norm, right? Usually costs more. When you have something that's mass market, I guess everywhere you have it, and there's no need for much molding fees. But for a brand like us that sets out to do something a little bit different, right from the very beginning, we actually spend a lot of money on molding fees, and I guess that's that's the part that really drives our costs up lah. And the other thing is also that because we also use like natural stones, right? Then sometimes these stones have imperfections. But we can't tell the customer that so so one thing that we have to do is we have to discard them. If we buy it and then that happens, we have to discard them, and we only reserve the best ones for our customers. So that's the part that really, yeah, you talked about a sore spot for us. But I guess where me and Daryl really gets the satisfaction is really our customers are happy wearing our things. So sometimes Daryl will do this thing that's pretty cute, like he would message us in a group chat and says that, hey, you know what, there's a nice looking dude that's wearing our Hoseiki bracelet. And sometimes when I go out and I see one, right, then see someone wearing, I'll do the same thing also, and I'll share in a group chat. And I think we really get our satisfaction from that.
You know, the height of, they say the sincerest form of flattery is imitation. Have you all seen knockoffs of Hoseiki out there as well? Has that happened? Not good for business, probably, but
I'll let Daryl handle this question because I get a bit emotional when you talk about it.
That's true.
Yeah, I think there has definitely been a few people that try to do what we do, or even downplay what we do. But sometimes I always just tell Chase, let's just focus on developing the best things and the most innovative products for ourselves, and focus on making our customers happy instead of looking at all those people who try to copy us.
Yeah.
Focus on the customer base, build that brand and reputation. Daryl, Chase, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Daryl Ko and Chase Wu, co-founders of Hoseiki, a jewelry store in Bedok North, and they've been focusing on very traditional Asian jewelry. And a survey conducted by the Singapore Jewelers Association revealed this trend that about 60% of millennials expressing keen interest in traditional Chinese jewelry.